Top of the whenever to my God lights. It is I am he, I am she, I am share, I am siren. Look to the Bible and there you will find me. My energy is low. Bear with me. Today is January 13th, 2026. And today is day one of the second portion of our current life path ascension period. The ascension period starts from January 13th, 2025, and lasts until October 26th of 2026. This life path period, life path 9, this is the 18th life path 9 of this planet's history. And this life path period mirrors the final life path 15, when Earth, this iteration of Earth, comes to its final conclusion on a future, I didn't say next, on a future life path 15 happening on October 26th. It will end as a result of the Milky Way slapping into um, the 3D body of Earth. The event will happen between the hours of 3 a.m. and 4:20 will be the hottest part of the extinction, and it will last until about 6 a.m. That is the final moments. Um, what happens in Life Path 9 mirrors Life Path 15. Uh, we are in a year 10 now. 2026 equals 10. 10 also breaks down to a 1. So there's two things happening at one time. The end is also the beginning. So the end of one lifestyle, one way of being, one form of existence, one form of wealth, let's say, will come to an end, and a different form will begin. To summarize how that um, this process goes, the ascension life path period is really kind of like the Olympics for spirit beings. Um, the first portion happens for humans and intelligence, and the second portion happens for element spirits and nature spirits. Now, today is day one, and I come to talk about my previous video, the video before this, and what it means or what's really going to be happening. Um, by the way, January 13th, this is so this life path began due to events that elements and nature spirits are calling Tingling Tuesday. It started on a Tuesday um, as a result of the inauguration of Donald Trump within the United States, which was a initiation and humiliation ceremony. Um, it's that day, the the ceremony was what you saw. There are things that happened in the unseen realm that triggered the sequences of events that we are now currently dealing with. And the last one started on a Tuesday. This new year, we're on a Monday. However, we are in fact within another Tingling Tuesday event that I have been sensing since over the weekend. I wonder how much of it I should even. I don't enjoy sharing any of this with the public. I'm going to just tell you guys what's happening in this Tingling Tuesday event. Element spirits, nature spirits who have recently started gaining their sovereignty, they are still being abused and neglected. And we are going to see, unfortunately, the effects of those things over the last few months. For me, I've been sensing body forms waking up. And I'm talking about volcanoes, right? And um, unfortunately, over the next few hours, um, things are going to pop off. Today, Monday, before the night is up, there's going to be earthquakes all across the West Coast, um, from the border of California and Oregon to Los Angeles and quite a ways lower. Um, the LA and Santa Cruz area will see some quakes, and I see some sliding in my mind's eye. There's a place starts with an M. I'm not seeing the name in my mind, but the entire coastline is going to be experiencing devastation. I spoke about this in my previous video. If you are on the West Coast, I've listed the locations in my previous video. It is essential that you evacuate the West Coast immediately from Washington State to New Mexico. Um, Going, I would say, 3 states across. So that would be, what is that? That would be Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming. So 3 chunks from the top to the bottom evacuate. There is going to be, currently, there is um, the Earth's crust is deforming, and lava is going to be making its way through. And this, unfortunately, is an initiation of sorts, being performed by a bunch of clowns. I have made several videos about this that you should feel free to go check out. One called Visual Awareness Tips for Leaving the Chronos Luge Farm Matrix Directly After Death. I am pointing that out because many of the individuals are going to be experiencing death. Death isn't real. However, being made unalive is. And you need to know how to navigate safely out of this prison so that you do not return and you can gain your freedom. The next video I want to point out is Japan earthquakes. Um, AIM siphoning 3.8 million. These are two videos I definitely want um, you guys to look at. In addition to videos, uh, one, it starts with Dear Greece in Italy, regards to crimes. Another is Earth 3D reality split progression. And another discussing AMASS, that's AMASS, and prayer to thrive in life path 9 to the final life path 15. Those things I want you guys to be aware of. So I'm not going to mention the details really because I don't want to be repetitious. I want to tell you 7 of there are more, but I'm going to give you 7 reasons why they are, there's going to be this tsunami that is going to be made manifest, as well as the East Coast crumbling, not the East Coast, that's coming, but I'm not talking about that now. The West Coast, um, it's not just the West Coast. There are earthquakes that are happening and eruptions happening worldwide. And I wanted on this first day to give you a little bit of insight, just 7 for now, as to why these things are happening, right? None of it is accidental. And no, this is not because of global warming. No, this is because of cult behavior and the behavior of unseen groups within spiritual circles, cults, and covens, as well as um, governing groups, well, hidden groups that operate through government bodies. So the first reason they're going to be mass unalivings is loose energy harvesting sacrifices. Um, this is going to benefit reapers. I'm talking about grim reapers, archons, reptilians, and the Anunnaki. Second, they are aiming to claim the identities, inheritances, supernatural and metaphysical abundances, as well as the godlike knowing of those who have passed. And they're aiming to siphon, transmute, and manifest wealth as money. Third, they are aiming to access the bodies, the physical bodies of um, those who transition to death for experimentations, organ harvesting, afterlife um, manipulation through additional seances, in addition to sacral root and sex organ manipulation um, with echo possessions. And some of that they plan on doing in the flesh. Um, Sleeping with the dead. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Four, continued abuse against high ranking godlights like myself, Goddess Sophia, Yeshua, Lord Metatron, element, and nature spirits that they are seeking to siphon and steal their identities and metaphysical abundance. Fifth, they are looking to create death certificates, home and life insurance claims to benefit companies that are in alliances with governing and spiritual groups such as the Bloodline Council, which is a group of um, 13 families that look like you and me. They appear human, but they are not. And they they currently all of them have U.S. citizenship. However, they have businesses and homes worldwide. They are within the top 100 businesses um, across the globe. And they have been, these 13, their families actually, and they have been siphoning the wealth of all bloodlines across the globe through their alliances in the unseen with Uncle Sam and Uncle Samael. Samael is a god. Um, he's also known as the god of ignorance. Yep, that nickname Uncle Sam is code for Samael, the demiurge, the faux god. When you pray and you say the word amen, and you pray and you say in the name of, you are not, your prayer does not go to God, the source of all, and the Godlight collective. It gets maneuvered over to the seven deadly sins, which are seven demigods, and the god of ignorance, Uncle Samael. Yep. Sorry to burst your bubble on that one. Um, so, so they're looking to create um, claims in the awake, dream state, and shadow realm and spirit realm for governing groups and spiritual groups, as well as the president of the United States, who is claiming that in the spirit realm, he is claiming the identity of all godlights on this planet, not just the godlights that live within the country of the United States. Um, so the Bloodline Council and the CIA's shadow cabinet are looking to assist them with that. The We are in a prison realm called Chronos, and they are a part of what they call the Chronos agenda, which is what these lava flows are for. And in addition to creating these certificates, um, they're also looking to reclaim bugs, which are like, if you think of a plane, every plane has a black box. Some of us godlights, they have, without our consent, placed bugs in us, um, similar to if you see in the movie Matrix where they put a bug in Neo. It's a lot like that. However, it's not as big and it doesn't look, well, from what I feel, it doesn't feel like a bug, but it is a bugging device. I, unfortunately for me, I had one placed in me when I had spine surgery. I had two surgeries at Brooklyn Methodist Presbyterian Hospital due to health issues as a result of their abuse on me. I had surgery, and on February 13th, they placed one of these bugs in me, which I can see it, I can feel it. As a highly sensitive being, my body isn't built like everyone else's. So I am able to sense it, just like I can sense things 7,000 meters away, above and below this Earth's crust. So if I can sense something more than 7,000 meters away, like these earthquakes that I've sensed before they've manifested, of course I know it's inside my body. Yeah. And I want it out, or there will be deadly consequences. Deadly. And I'm not talking about the deaths that are happening. That's not me. That's not my. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not taking it on. I am just letting the world know so that you can be prepared and you can be safe. This is the 18th time that they are doing this. And before they got me to be emotional and to siphon my energy um, from this, but I'm just annoyed now. Whatever. Um, Death isn't real, and I die, and I'm immortal. I will come back. Like, um, and I got promoted. I got promoted in the first phase of this life path, and I want everyone to be promoted and to ascend, which is why I'm telling you about it, so you can understand some of what is dealt with. These are things not for you to be fearful of. This is for you to have awareness, um, and for you to overcome it, not be bothered by it. The sixth thing is they are looking to compromise the health of citizens as well as neighboring countries. They are looking to claim the identities in the um, spirit realm of individuals across the entire globe. There are, at this time in Earth's history, there are supposed to be um, three, a little bit over 300,000 godlights, right? No, me, three, three. I'm seeing the number of 3.8. That is the death that they're creating right now. But there's about 144,000 godlights that have been in existence, and then another 180,000 that came to maturity um, during the 2020 to 2025 year period. They turned 18 during that time, and they are claiming the identities, manifest, the God life inheritance, their metaphysical knowing to benefit and create um, godlike knowing of what's happening in the cosmos, as well as to create weapons for warlords, warlocks, their military. But it's not just for military, it is for spiritual groups that historically participate in the war process. And lastly, that I want to mention, it is a part of forced reincarnation. We are in a prison realm matrix, a lot similar like the movie Matrix. Um, and in in creating Loosh, what I mentioned, which is a form of energy that is used as a battery source as well as a food source for reapers and archons, and it's used as an offering to the Anunnaki. So they're killing us so that they can harvest Loosh. Now, if you have looked across the globe in the last year or two, you will notice that there have been mass deaths of animals or large animals that are washing up, and the the deaths are unexplained, or how, yeah, the deaths are unexplained. You don't see any obvious entry points that led to the death. For instance, a large group of reptiles um, were unalived in the south states of the United States. Um, that was done by reapers that feed off of it the second that death happens, right as death is happening, or like right after that, they feed. And the spirits within the body forms are then sent back into the cycle of, or the entry point of, um, the assembly line, and they then harvest the the big chunk of loosh and force that spirit back into the reincarnation process and the assembly line to be made a living yet again, so that they can do it again. This is the 18th time that they are doing this with us as humans. It is 115.2 billion years of this phase, and it is time for it to stop. That's what's happening, and I'm going to leave it here for now. The earthquake activities, the activities happening within the earth, has been draining me physically, and I'm just irritated and annoyed dealing with this, because they're also astral traveling and stalking, harassing, and echo possession. They are performing what I call ape tactics with a capital R at the beginning. Yes, I'm talking about rape. And they are doing these things not just to me, but to the individuals that are about to be made unalive all across the West Coast. Have a good night.